Steve, thank you. We're back live now in the CBS News Miami newsroom, sharing more of this video of Tyreek Hill being detained yesterday outside of Hard Rock Stadium. And there's no audio here, but you hear what we were able to hear was Tyreek Hill saying to the officers, basically, why are you doing this to me? And the officer responding, saying that you right now are a little confused about what's going on. We hear Tyreek Hill tell his agent, who Rosenhaus apparently was on the scene at this point, that he is getting arrested. And you see now the officers cuffing Tyreek Hill. Again, he is being forced to lie face down on the pavement there outside of Hard Rock Stadium. And Hill now is asking, why this is being done to him. Again, the officers say they pulled Tyreek Hill over for apparently speeding and perhaps reckless driving.
Hello, and welcome to the Black Nationalist Network. This is Malik Hajji. Hot off the presses, Tyreek Hill gets pulled over and handcuffed for the whole world to see. We hear the media's claims of that this is not who America is, this is not who we are, when in truth, this is the history of America for the darker color. So that means in 2025, it's time for blacks to come back alive as a culture. It's time for us to not be exploited anymore and start unifying by any means necessary, as Malcolm said. I know you say that was then and this is now, but we have a couple of our ancestors that left us some warnings about what was happening then that can prove to you that it's still going on now. But you listen to them tell you, because you're not going to believe me, right?
The police the same way. They put their club upside your head and then turn around and accuse you of attacking them. Every case of police brutality against a Negro follows the same pattern. They attack you, bust you all upside your mouth, and then take you to court and charge you with assault. What kind of democracy is that? What kind of freedom is that? What kind of social or political system is it when a black man has no voice in court, has nothing on his side other than what the white man chooses to give him? My brothers and sisters, we have to put a stop to this. And it will never be stopped until we stop it ourselves. They attack the victim. And then the criminal who attacked the victim accuses the victim of attacking him. Yes, sir. This is American justice. Yes, sir. That's right. This is American democracy. Yes, and those of you who are familiar with it know that in America, democracy is hypocrisy. Right. Now, if I'm wrong, put me in jail. But if you can't prove that a democracy is not hypocrisy, then don't put your hands on me.
So it's time for black people to take the future into our own hands in 2025. It's time to come alive. The Black Nationalist Network wants to organize and start rethinking how we can approach the next decade. Because remember now, 1968, they had, when the 1968 civil rights legislation gave all the freedoms and the voting rights, but now today we have less than our parents did. We're back at square one. How is it that they can pass a law, and they passed it under duress, but let history shows people were in the streets. So they passed the law, 1968, they gave us civil rights, voting rights, everything. Now they're taking it all back, or have taken it back, because now the voting rights in most states is very censored. On with the story though, we need to clarify two things in 2025. Number one, why are we allowing our culture to be exploited and continuing that as it has been in slavery, in music and all these other industries? Also, number two, when are we going to take steps to stop it and create our own system within this system? Because we're a nation inside a nation, but we haven't made a party for ourselves or given ourselves a political. We join other parties. We need to stop joining other parties, and we need to start joining our own. Our common enemy, or policies that are negative to our culture, We need to have a mechanism to challenge that. We need to have a political party that can challenge that and bring these things to the table instead of begging another party to do what we should be doing. So in 2025, it's time to come alive. And so we got to think a new way. We got to define ourselves and quit letting our enemies define us. This is Malik Hajji, and I'm hoping that we'll start coming together, and I'm going to do everything in my power, and I'm reaching out to you. Let's come together and let's start doing a coalition. 2025, let's come alive.
Remember, we started the 20th century with our great sociologist, historian, Dr. W.E.B. Du Bois. And Dr. Du Bois told us in his book, Souls of Black Folks, in 1903, that the problem of the 20th century is the question of the color line between the lighter and darker races of mankind.
Come make it.